I'm gonna use some blush today, and I bought these cheap blushes from the beauty supply store. I got one in they're called a matte blush Palladio. I don't know, it's from the beauty supply store. This one is in red, like a you know, a rose red, and this one is in orange. I'm gonna use the orange because I like how it looks on my skin tone, and it's really pigmented, and it's like what? It was $6.99. Oh, I got the thing. $6.99. You can see, like, look at it, it's super pigmented. Hold on. So I'm in Lake Plaza in the middle of nowhere on the sidewalk with two big ass luggages, and not only that, I was the only black person I saw. Okay, everybody that was walking past were like couples, and they were like, you know, they had their gloves on, they were just walking and looking at me like, what's going on? I was the only black person I seen, so I was already getting this weird eerie feeling in my body, like, okay, the only black person here, it's snowing, it's 6:30, there's no Ubers and Lyfts in the area, it's gonna get dark soon, what am I gonna do? You know, on top of that, I have anxiety and PTSD, so all the worst things you can think about came in my mind. All the worst things. Like a pickup truck picking me up and taking me somewhere. Like, all the worst things you can think about when you're traveling alone came into my mind. Yeah, Uber and Lyft's not coming. I'm on the phone with my mom, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, Uber and Lyft are not coming, so I don't know what's going on, but they're not showing up, so I don't know what to do. I called my recruiter because that's the first person I call. No answer. Text her, no answer. Okay. I Google really quickly. I Google like taxi places, call, no answer. Y'all, I didn't know where I was at. Okay, I was scared. So I knew that I was staying at this place. I'm not going to say the location of the place because I don't want to put anybody on blast. Because it's not the place's fault what happened, it's my recruiter. But even so, I'm not going to be saying any names or any location, any places that I stayed at out of respect, and that's just how I am. So the place that they told me that I was staying at, it was 9 minutes away, walking wise. So I was like, okay, thankfully it's 9 minutes away. I can walk. I'm a New Yorker. I walk, you know, I walk to the store, I walk to the train station. I could walk. So I thought. So I told my mother I'm gonna walk. She's like, you gonna walk? I'm like, I have no other choice. There's no Ubers and Lyfts coming. I don't know anybody out here. I don't have no car. It's 9 minutes away. So I'm gonna walk to get to shelter so I can be away from the cold and the snow. At one point, it like the area was like, it was like a little hill. So it was like I was walking and pain. One of my luggage is like really old school. It's like really beat up, but I just used it for the kitchen stuff because it was just super old. So that one, like, it rolled, but it didn't roll on the side. It kind of just rolled behind you. The first one I had was Betsy Johnson, super, you know, cute, updated. It rolled to the side. So I was like rolling my Betsy Johnson one to the side, and then the old beat up one I had behind me. So I was like this, walking down the block. Mind you, it's super quiet, so all you hear is like the wheels and stuff. So I finally passed like a pub, like a bar pub or whatever they call it. And, you know, a man, he comes out, he's looking at me and he's smiling, just smirking. And I'm like, why is he smiling at me? And he's just looking at me like I'm crazy. So then behind me, I see a lady and then like their son. So it's a family. So she's like, are you okay? Where are you going? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a travel nurse and I'm on assignment here and I'm trying to just get to my hotel. And she's like, well, is the hotel nearby? Like, do you need a ride? Me, white people asking me for a ride. No, I'm sorry. I just, no. I would have loved to ride. The way my toes and feet was burning and my hands was hurting, my back was hurting. I would like to ride, but I was literally at that point, I was like 5 minutes away. And I was like, I don't trust these people. I don't know these people. No. So I said, no, I'm okay. And she's like, do you need help? I said, no, I do not need any help. I am great. I'm fine. She's like, okay. So I will go about my business. So I finally get to this lodge, right? So this lodge is not like a hotel. I thought it was like a hotel where you go in, you check in. My name is so-and-so, I'm blah, blah, blah. They tell me, here's your room key, blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. It's like they have an office where they give keys and stuff like that. And then they have the lodges, which are like little mini house cabins. And it's like spread out like that. So I'm like, I can't obviously go to the cabin because I don't have the key. So I'm like, let me go to the office. So the office was like right there, but it seemed like it was so far because it was so much snow. Like they don't, in that area, it's not like New York when it snows, they kind of like they shovel all the snow so that you can walk. They didn't shovel nothing. Nothing. No shovel into the walkway. I'm like, how are people supposed to walk up here and y'all not even shoveling no snow? So I'm like pushing 2 luggages through snow. I finally get up to the place, the office. It's closed. Yeah, it was closed. I got to this place where I was supposed to get my key. I walked all the way there through the snow and the cold. I get there and it's closed. Yeah, I tried, the lights were off, it was closed. It was like, what am I supposed to do now? I have no shelter, I have no car. What am I supposed to do? Luckily my phone was charged. There was a charger on the bus. Because if my phone was dying, I would have been asked out. So I'm sitting there and I'm panicking and I'm pissed off and I'm like, it's cold. Where are these people? Why is it closed? Do they not know that I'm coming? Like, what is going on? Like, I was pissed. So while I'm pissed, I'm going to do my eyeliner and I'm going to be using this Nicka K, New York, from the beauty supply store. And I like it because it's like super skinny and it really, really gets that liner. So I'm going to do my liner while I'm talking so that I can finish my makeup and continue on. So I can't talk while I do this. So. Okay, so it's closed. So I call my mom. I'm panicking. She's like, what's going on? She's screaming in my ear. She's like, I need the name of your recruiter. I need the name of the people in charge. Because that's just how my mom is. She's like mama bear. So she's super protective over me. So she was going off. Then, you know, I called everybody that I'm close to because just in case something happened to me, they need to know. Mind you, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Not the middle of nowhere, but a place where I don't know anyone. There was nobody outside at this lodge. I didn't see anybody outside. It was like quiet. So I'm like, okay, the first thing I could do was I looked up the lodge online because my recruiter didn't give me any phone number. She just told, I'm thinking I just go there. They're open. Obviously I go, I say my name, I check in, that's it. That's why I'm like, okay, she didn't tell me anything else because obviously it's like a hotel. You just go in, you check in, there's people there. She doesn't have to tell me anything. But she didn't tell me that this place was closed. She didn't tell me anything. So I look up the place online. I call the place. The guy's like, hello. And I'm like, yes. How do you check in? And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm here at your location. I'm trying to check in. And he's like, oh, wait, my sister, she's in control of that. Let me call her. I'm like, so then who are you? He's like, well, it's a family-owned business. And I just take care of like other stuff. But she takes care of the online reservations and blah, blah, blah. Let me call you back. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm like, okay. 30 minutes go by. I swear 30 minutes. I'm like, this guy's not calling me back. It's freezing. I'm tired. I've been traveling for 10 hours. I'm cold. I'm tired. I've been traveling 10 hours on a bus and I've been traveling 9 minutes through the snow to get to this place. So I call him back. I'm like, any updates? He's like, huh? I'm like, any updates on how I'm gonna get into this room? He's like, oh, okay. I called my sister. She's not picking up. I emailed her or whatever. So I'll call you back. I'm like, what is going on here? It was just weird. As I'm sitting there and I'm like frustrated and I'm like on the phone with my mom, I'm going off. This lady comes with this guy and this little kid, like a family. So they come up to me and she can barely speak any English. So she's obviously Hispanic. She can barely speak any English. And she's like, hey, you know, excuse me, good night. You know, I guess good night means like hello or whatever. And she's like, oh, work here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't work here. I was happy I finally seen somebody else. But I was like, no, I don't work here. Do you guys have a room here? Couldn't understand what she was saying. And I'm like, yeah, that it's closed. I don't work here. I don't. So I'm on the phone and I'm going off and she's like rummaging through something on the side. And then I see the guy actually open up the door of the office, turn the light on. And I'm like, so I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, wait, do you work here? And she's like, see. And I'm like, why didn't you say that? You're asking me if I work here. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on? She just goes like that with the key. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you gave me a key, so you work here. Right when she's doing that, I get a call from the sister. She calls, she's like, hi, my name is so and so, that's the housekeeper, all the keys are like in this area. Your recruiter was supposed to tell you what key you had to what lodge you had. You could have just literally got the key yourself and went into the lodge and opened the door by yourself. I'm like, well, my recruiter didn't tell me any of that. So it was a miscommunication, misunderstanding, whatever. I finally get in the lodge. The lodge is gorgeous. I'm talking living room. It was like a 1-bedroom. I thought I was just gonna get a room, like a bed, a little bathroom, and that's it. No, I had a whole living room to myself. Couch, table, bedroom, bathroom. I had cups, silverware, cooking utensils. It was a stove, everything. Like, I literally traveled all the way over here thinking that I was gonna be like in the middle of nowhere with no like electricity or anything, and I have a whole setup and stove. It's like I didn't even need to bring this extra suitcase that I paid for. My recruiter didn't tell me any of this. If she would have did her research, she would have said this area has stove, blah, blah, so you don't have to bring anything with you because they have all of that there. She didn't tell me any of that. So here I am carrying extra luggage that I had to pay for, full of kitchen appliances, and they have literally all of that there. But I was getting excited because I was like, oh my gosh, this place is beautiful. I can't wait for my boyfriend to come and us to like, you know, be here for these 3 months. So, you know, I'm calling everybody in my family. I'm calling all my friends and I'm like, I'm safe. Everything is good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, there's no Uber and Lyft, but maybe there's just no Uber and Lyft because it's a Sunday and that's just how it is. So I said, I'm going to just hope for the best the next day. So I literally take out all my stuff. I put my stuff in the drawers, set up all my stuff. You know, I finally get to bed and they had a TV. Wi-Fi was great. Bed was comfortable. I was like, okay, this is great. So I had to be at my assignment at 7, but they wanted me to be there 30 minutes earlier to get fitted and stuff for like my ID, you know, for the facility. So hold on, y'all. So I'm like, okay, so I gotta get there at 6:30, no problem. You know, I worked day shift at my staff job here in New York City, so it wasn't like I was one of those people who's like, oh, I gotta wake up early. I was like, I'm used to it because that's what I've done for a year now. So I said, okay, I go to sleep and I wake up, my alarm wakes me up. You know, I pack a little lunch because I had like some food that I took with me. So I pack like a little lunch or something, you know, for the day. I shower, I get dressed, and I'm ready to leave to go to my job. So I'm like, okay, let me look for the Uber and Lyft now because it should be available. It's Monday morning. They should be working, you know, maybe it was a Sunday. So I'm looking for the Uber and Lyft and it's taking long, like it took the same day. And I'm like, oh my God, not again. So I had to be there 30 minutes earlier. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. No Uber, no Lyft, no Uber, no Lyft at all. So I text my recruiter because she wasn't answering the call. And I said, you lied to me. There's no Uber and Lyft here. This is day 2. I gave the Sunday a benefit of the doubt because I said it's a Sunday. I told her all that I went through just to get to the cabin. And now I'm trying to get to my job so I can make my money and start, and I can't even get to the job because there's no Uber and Lyfts. And she told me, another thing she told me was, even if there's no Ubers and Lyfts, I can walk to the facility. She said it's within walking distance. Me, I'm thinking walking distance is like 3 minutes, boom, 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 right around the corner, that's walking distance. This place was 25 minutes walk from the facility, but a 3 minutes drive. So it wasn't even like I can say, okay, it's a 3 minutes walk, I can just walk it. It was a 25 minutes walk. I was not walking that. When I woke up, it was still dark outside, bunch of snow. What am I doing walking through snow in a place I don't know in the dark? No. I immediately texted my recruiter and I told her there's no way I can get to work because there's no transportation available because you lied to me. I was so pissed off at this lady. She doesn't respond, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going back to sleep because what can I do? You know? I could have called the facility and I thought about that, but I'm like, that's not my job. That's her job. You know? She's the middleman between me and the facility. She handles all of that. I don't handle all of that. I have a job to go to. So I shouldn't have to be handling calling the facility and trying to get a ride. That's her job. That's what she get paid for. So I went back to sleep. Hold on, y'all. Wake up at like 7, 8 o'clock. My boyfriend wakes me up. He calls me. I'm telling him everything that's going on. He's like, what? So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna call. Just tell me where you are. I'm gonna call the taxi services. So he was calling all the taxi services and everything. So he called this taxi service and he called me back. He's like, babe, I talked to this taxi guy And he's telling me it was like $250 just to take me from where I am to my job. I'm like, what? He's like, because the taxi service wasn't located in where I was at. The taxi service was actually 15 minutes away. They would have to come to get me, then get me and take me to the place, and then go all the way back to where they were. So that's $250 for a taxi. $250. He also said that the guy said that Uber and Lyfts are pretty much non-existent in that area. Non-existent. So whoever told your girlfriend that there's Ubers and Lyft, lied. It's pretty much non-existent in that area. I was furious. So how was I going to get home if there's no Ubers and Lyfts? I'm in this cabin by myself. I have 2 large luggages. So I'm thinking that the bus stop is the same route as when I came. So to go home, the bus stop was like 15 minutes away. The bus stop that was near me, which I walked 9 minutes, that was just to come here. But the bus stop to leave was a totally different area. Hold on, blend that in because it's looking a little harsh. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna do my highlight now. Go back in with my highlight. So I'm panicking, I want to go home. So I call my mom. She's like, okay, get the next bus, you know, when the next bus is coming, get home. So I pack up all my stuff and I got my bus ticket. I'm ready to go back. My only issue was trying to get an Uber and Lyft to go. So I was praying. I was like, I hope I find an Uber and Lyft. But I tried to order it before because my bus left at 11. So I was like, okay, it was like maybe like 9. I was like, let me just get this Uber and Lyft now. So I don't care what time I show up at this bus stop. I just need to get there early. So I finally put looking for Uber and Lyft. One pops up. Finally, just one. That's it. Some old guy. And I'm like, oh, thank God for you. So one pops up and I'm like, yes, he'll be there in 3 minutes. Yes, I pack up everything that I took out. Everything I packed. I was waiting for him. He showed up. He came all the way up to the cabin, helped me with my bags. Thank the Lord. Put my bags in the truck and I was like, let's get the F out of here. The bus finally comes. The bus driver comes and he's looking at my ticket. He's trying to scan it from my phone. It's not scanning. I'm like, this is just my day. This is just my day. He's like, yeah, it's not scanning. I don't know. It isn't really, you're not on my roster. It's not scanning. And I'm like, well, I paid for my ticket. It's here on my phone. Maybe it didn't update because I ordered this ticket about like 2 hours ago. But I'm on your roster and I'm getting on your bus. You know, you're not on my roster, but I'm not gonna leave you out here. You have the ticket, you have the proof, so just get on the bus. Yeah, I was gonna get on anyway. Cause I was getting the fuck up out of Lake Plaza. So I get on the bus and I'm riding the bus and I'm looking at the scenery and it just felt so good. I felt free. I was like, oh my God, I'm finally on my way home from this terrible nightmare. Oh my gosh, I was just so happy to be on the bus and driving away from this town. You know, my recruiter is blowing me up while I'm on the bus, blowing me up. I'm ignoring her calls because it's like, she actually texted me back. She texted me back and she said, oh, a lot of my other talent had no issues with Uber and Lyft. Maybe it's because it's early. Even so, if I have to be at my job at a certain time, there should have been a car or a Lyft to pick me up to take me there. That's what you said, Uber and Lyft was available. I don't care what your other talent had going on, which I didn't even believe because the taxi driver and people in the area was saying, no Uber and Lyft comes around here. So my recruiter was lying. So she's calling me off the hook, blah, blah, blah. Finally, I block her number. I block everything about her. I'm like, I'm done with this. It's nothing to talk about. She's not apologizing. She's not owning up to what she did. She's a liar. She just said what she said to get me to sign the contract and had me all the way in the middle of nowhere, alone, cold, with no transportation. So I'm on the bus and I finally am free from that nightmare. And that's pretty much the end of it. I got home, I'm safe, I'm here now. That was my experience with my first travel assignment. It was a nightmare. I don't think I'm going to be traveling for a long time after this. I think until I know how to drive or until my boyfriend gets his car, because he's getting his car this year, then there's no point in me doing this traveling thing because I don't trust these recruiters. They might say, oh yeah, Uber and Lyft's available, and then it's not. Okay, so I went ahead and I did my lashes and my hair off camera because I don't have a setup, and took some of my edges out. You know, my hair is not super long on the front, so I don't have like super long baby hair edges, so I did as best as I could and I put it in, and I have my little Juicy Couture scrunchie. This is the style that I really go to with the braids. I kind of look like Janet Jackson from Poetic Justice, so you know. Yeah, I'm looking like Janet Jackson, but it looks cute like this. Yeah, but that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this long extra video. Let me know your comments below. Was I wrong? Maybe I should have, you know, was the recruiter wrong? If you are a travel CNA, give me your experiences. If you're someone that doesn't know how to drive, give me your experiences on when you first learned how to drive and how, because I am terrified. But I'm trying to get over my fear because I want a pink car. I told myself I want in this lifetime, I don't care how old I am when I get it, I want a pink Barbie pink car. So let me know, for all the new drivers out there, how was it your first experience, especially new drivers at an older age. Now I'm not talking about you 16-year-olds that live wherever y'all live and y'all was driving since 16. I'm not talking about y'all. We know that y'all can drive. I'm talking about the 20s, or late 20s, early 20s, early 30s that just got their license, just learned how to drive. Tell me your experience, because you know, being 31, I'm turning 32 next month, it's just like, you know, you think like, damn, I should know how to drive by now. But then it's at the same time, it's not my fault because I don't live in a area that you need to know how to drive at. But I still felt like, you know, if I had a daughter and obviously she was raised in New York, I would still push my daughter to get her license, because even if you live in a place where you won't need a license, you never know. You know, you never know. So I think growing up, I should have learned how to drive. Or when I got to that age, I should have sorted out myself to get my license and learn how to drive. But I guess I got so comfortable with the New York life. I was like, I don't need to drive, da 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 da. You know, so it's biting me in my ass right now. But you know, everything's a learning experience, and it's never too late to learn anything. And I hope that I am living proof that it is never too late. It's never too late to be in a relationship. It's never too late to learn how to drive. It's never too late to learn how to swim. It's never too late to get a tattoo. Like, don't let social media make you feel like because you're not at a certain age with a certain amount of money or all these goals checked off that you're a loser, because you're not. I don't care. I'm taking it one step at a time, no matter what age I get to, where I want to get to. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Try to do, if you want a hair like styling video, let me know. If not, I won't do one. But if you want like a cute hairstyling video, because I have a lot of cute styles I want to do with this, let me know. My feathers are shedding. Okay, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay?
From a city where niggas will run you for your biggie, gat to the face, make you dance like Shiggy, rolling with 30s and 60s, rest in peace Nipsey. I'm in LA, I got Big U with me, fuck a meal, my first still gon' be like 250. KB on my side, they better keep it cool with me, save the rap game, I'm a new kidney, groupie hoes got too plenty, watch me now pull up right in that blue Bentley, suit and tie on, yeah this that new Fendi, stuntin' got